Hey, it's Jack Grave here, and in this short video I'd like to show you exactly what to do in bed to give any woman, whether that be your wife, girlfriend or a casual lover, the most powerful orgasms of her life. Orgasms so intense that they cause her whole body to shake with pleasure and force her to uncontrollably yell your name out loud, and orgasms so satisfying that after experiencing them, every day she'll come back begging for more sex from you because sex with you gives her so much joy. Now I'm very excited to be making this video for you because I'm going to be sharing some truly cutting edge discoveries in the science of female pleasure. And I'm excited because I know how much of a difference learning how to truly satisfy a woman can make. Based on my own experience and the feedback I've got from many other men who I've taught this to, what I've got to share with you has the power to turn around a relationship that's failing because of a poor sex life, get any woman you sleep with to come back begging for more, even if that's a wife or girlfriend who currently has virtually no interest in sex, eliminate multiple anxieties and fears around sex, and help you quickly uncover a new level of sexual confidence, making you feel unstoppable with any woman. And if you're single, you'll start to notice a huge difference in how women respond to you because of this. I'll also show you how to cause the woman you're with to forget all her past lovers and never want to cheat on you because you fulfill all of her sexual and emotional needs. What I'm going to share also, if you want it to, can turn you into a raging stallion in the bedroom whose reputation will spread like a virus amongst your friends and peer group, which again is very helpful if you're looking to date more women. And what I've got to share isn't just what works for me personally and many other students of mine, it works for virtually any man. And that's even if you think your size is holding you back, you can't last very long in bed, you can't stay hard for very long, your lover seems disinterested in sex, you've never had much luck in bed in the past, and if you don't consider yourself to be a ladies' man or naturally gifted in bed. No matter what I've got to share will work for you. And I'll actually prove this to you very shortly through both the feedback from other men who have used my method successfully and through the techniques and approaches that I'm going to share in this video, including my 4-step process for delivering explosive multiple orgasms and a powerful sex position that stimulates both the clitoris and G-spot at the same time. But first, a quick warning. I can't guarantee that I'll keep this video online forever. I'm going to be sharing some pretty personal stuff, and quite frankly I feel a little bit out of my comfort zone leaving this online for a long period of time. So I recommend you watch this whole video now because I may take it down at any time. Now, before I get into exactly what I discovered on how to truly satisfy women, let me quickly explain who I am and why you should listen to me. Like I've already alluded to, I'm someone who teaches other men sex advice for a living. From how to give women more pleasure, to how to last longer in bed, to how to eliminate sexual anxieties and get more sexual confidence. Ultimately, what I do is help men make transformations in the bedroom and in their relationships or dating life that often they wouldn't previously have thought was even possible for them. And over the past few years, I've shared my advice with literally hundreds of thousands of people through my videos, books and newsletter. And I'm so grateful to do what I do because in response I've received some incredible success stories and many thank yous from all the men I've helped. But the one thing I have to admit is that I wasn't born with natural skills with women. Everything I now know and teach other men comes from what I personally learned and discovered out of a desperate need to make a change. See, a while back I was like most guys when it comes to sex, dating and relationships. I thought I could get by with what came naturally to me. Now don't get me wrong, I definitely had my faults. Rarely could I last more than 10 seconds in bed. I was very insecure about myself, my body and my size. Plus I made some pretty huge and embarrassing mistakes in bed. But nonetheless, I figured I must be born with enough instinct to get and keep a woman happy. Well, it turned out that wasn't quite the case, because one day my life was turned completely upside down when, out of nowhere, I discovered my girlfriend at the time had cheated on me. She'd gone and had sex behind my back with another guy. And as I'm sure you can understand, I was devastated by this, and I felt like a true failure as a man. But amongst all the pain and the frustration that I felt, what also happened was that it completely transformed my perception of reality. Because up until then, I'd thought I was doing everything right in the bedroom. I'd read advice in Men's Magazine, I'd saw some stuff in porn, and I thought I knew everything I needed to know about women, sex, and attraction. This day proved to me that what I thought I had learned and what came instinctively to me was failing to make me attractive to her, satisfy her, and meet her needs. The truth was that quite frankly I was clueless in bed, but I'd managed to convince myself that I wasn't. And it cost me big time. In fact, I reckon I could easily have prevented her from cheating on me had I known then what I know now. But having said that, looking back on it now, I'm actually quite grateful that it happened, because this event sent me on a journey to figure out what really satisfies a woman that would ultimately change my life forever. From then on, I committed to never fall into the trap of thinking I'm satisfying a woman when really she's silently unfulfilled, to learn to read the signs of her faking orgasms that so many guys, my old self included, totally miss, and to discover exactly how to give a woman intense, breathtaking pleasure in bed so I could get and keep a beautiful woman, never have to worry about being cheated on or getting dumped, and rock a woman's world in bed every single night. And on my journey of learning and researching and testing, I discovered exactly that. I discovered the precise techniques, strategies, and key understandings of female psychology that enabled me, a once total failure in bed, to get responses like, "Wow, that was the best sex I've ever had." In fact, I now have an incredible relationship with an incredible woman, who, before discovering what I now know, I would never have been able to attract and keep. So, what are these breakthrough insights that I discovered? Well, the first thing I discovered, which was the very reason I was sent on the journey of learning and discovery, is that us men are not naturally born with the ability to know when a woman is really satisfied. See, if you ask a group of guys if they think they can satisfy their lover, it's practically guaranteed that something like over 90% of men will say yes, because most men think they know what it takes to satisfy a woman. But interestingly, if you then go and ask their partners, "Are you satisfied?" you'll often get totally different responses. And to prove it, the best-selling author Nora Hayden actually went out and interviewed hundreds of different women anonymously about their sex life. And when I read her findings, it blew my mind. She found that as much as 89% of women fake their orgasms most of, if not every time they have sex. Just think about that for a second. If 89% of women are regularly faking their orgasms, but most guys think they're satisfying their lovers, then that pretty much proves that us men are naturally very bad at knowing if we've actually satisfied our lovers. And the real challenge is then that most men don't realise they're screwing up until it's too late, and so they end up getting dumped, cheated on, or end up alone. So, to make sure you don't fall into this trap of thinking your lover's satisfied when in fact she's silently unfulfilled and possibly considering looking elsewhere, let me ask you a few simple questions. Have you ever experienced a woman you're sexually interested in, whether that be a wife, girlfriend, or a casual lover, consistently coming up with excuses or reasons why you can't have sex at the particular time you want it? Have you ever experienced having a woman who used to be excited about having sex with you no longer seem that interested in sex at all? Have you ever had a woman say, "I just don't enjoy sex that much," or "I just can't orgasm through sex"? Or have you ever found yourself asking her for sex instead of her having begged you for it? If your answer was yes to any of those previous questions, then unfortunately you're showing signs that you may not yet be using the right approaches and techniques for deeply satisfying a woman. Now, this isn't necessarily bad news as long as you're prepared to act now before there are any serious long-term consequences, like having the woman you're interested in look elsewhere for sexual satisfaction. So the question is then, what do you have to do to have a woman experience the intense levels of pleasure that she's silently yearning for? Well, there are actually 4 steps I recommend men follow when wanting to transform their sex lives and give women toe-curling pleasure. And I'd like to share these steps with you right now. Step number 1, the first step, is to forget everything you think you know about satisfying a woman. Now, I know that's a bold statement, but here's why this is so important. Everything you learn from your friends, men's magazines, and in porn is not what works for giving women unforgettable orgasms. Why? Think for a second about what we've already discussed in this video. So far, we know that us men are not naturally good at satisfying women in bed. In fact, just about every guy, 89% to be specific, consistently fails to satisfy his lover. So, if you go to the same place where every other guy who sucks in bed is learning from, then the chances of you discovering what it really takes to please a woman are pretty low. Therefore, if you've picked up any ideas, approaches or techniques from any of your friends, men's magazines or porn, forget about them. In particular, forget everything you see in porn when it comes to satisfying a woman. Don't get me wrong, I've got nothing against legal porn. I'm just saying that when it comes to satisfying a woman, it's not a great learning tool. And here's why. Porn is designed for the viewing pleasure of men. However you see a woman reacting in a porn scene, don't forget that she's getting paid to look satisfied, no matter what the guy does. The male actor could be the worst lover ever, but she would still scream out loud and act incredibly satisfied because that's what she gets paid to do. So don't be misled by this. Once you forget everything you think you know about satisfying a woman, it opens you up to discovering what really works. Step number 2, never underestimate the power of emotional stimulation when it comes to satisfying a woman. A huge mistake guys make in bed is assuming that what's important to women is the same as what's important to men. For example, how does a guy get turned on? Most of the time, all it takes is images of an attractive woman or some physical stimulation to the right places. But how does a woman get turned on? Well, most guys approach it in a similar way. For example, they try grabbing her breasts or her bum and expect to get her aroused as quickly as they do. But that isn't exactly what turns a woman on. What turns a woman on is emotional stimulation. In other words, it's the mood you set and the emotions you trigger inside of her by how you act around her and how you touch her while leading up to sex. Here's an example to emphasize the difference between men and women. Have you ever noticed the difference between what men and women do to turn themselves on when the opposite sex isn't around? Many guys use porn, for example, but what do women use? Well, every woman is different, but many of them use erotic novels. Most women way prefer to read an erotic novel by themselves than to watch porn. Why could this be? Because erotic novels tells a story of emotion that is totally missed in porn, and therefore women prefer it because it provides the emotional stimulation they desperately crave. So, when you're considering your approach for how to turn your lover on, make sure you focus on developing the mood through the things you say and do and the way you touch her, because this will make a dramatic difference in how turned on she gets and therefore how intense she'll orgasm. Step number 3. Step number 3 is to combine powerful physical stimulation with emotional stimulation for explosive orgasms. Now, once you understand and begin applying the power of emotional stimulation, don't forget to give us some incredible physical stimulation too. Most men have one technique they use for trying to give a woman an orgasm: fast thrusting, when in fact there are so many more. So, if you want to give her intense pleasure and the kind of sex that makes her addicted to you, it's going to take more than just fast thrusting. So, let me break down a position and technique you can start using tonight that will give us some intense physical stimulation. I call this technique and position the modified missionary position. And the reason it works so well is because it stimulates both the clitoris and the G-spot at the same time. Now, in case you don't know, the clitoris and G-spot are high stimulation points on a woman, and when stimulated correctly and simultaneously can give her exceptionally pleasurable multiple orgasms. The clitoris is found just above the entrance to the vagina and just underneath where the vagina lips meet at the top of the vagina, and is about the size of a green pea. The G-spot is found about 3 to 5 inches inside and on the roof of the vagina and is about the size of a bean. This sex position stimulates both of these pleasure points simultaneously. And the way it works is this. Start by placing your lover in the missionary position, and this is where she's lying on her back and you're on top facing her with your legs in between hers, as you can see in this picture here. Then place a firm cushion underneath her bum so that it tilts her pelvis at an upward angle. Once she's in this position, have sex as you normally would and focus on rubbing her clitoris with your pelvis. While in this position, her G-spot will automatically be stimulated by your thrusting. Try this out a few times while being sure to provide her with some powerful emotional stimulation as well, and you'll soon find a sweet spot that hits both the clitoris and G-spot, right to give her an exceptionally powerful and unforgettable orgasm. Finally, step number 4. Realize that the only thing stopping you from giving a woman incredible pleasure is the techniques and approaches you use. It doesn't matter what your size is, how long you last, although I will provide a solution to this in just a minute, what your confidence levels are, how you've performed in the past, how easily she orgasms, or her attitude altogether. Because the correct techniques and approaches overcome all of this. When you realize exactly what triggers intense arousal, sexual attraction and multiple orgasms in a woman, all you need to do is repeat the things that trigger it and continue to repeat it as many times as you like. This means that you are the one that's in full control and not any of the other limitations that you may previously have thought was holding you back. So with all that said, how can you take everything I've just shared to the point where you can consistently give any woman, whether that be your wife, girlfriend or a casual lover, such intense multiple orgasms and such satisfying sex that she'll literally beg you for more? Well, the answer is there are a few more steps involved. These aren't difficult steps, but they do have to be followed. There are specific physical techniques to learn, and there are powerful emotional stimulation strategies to learn as well. And so what I've done is I've created a guide that walks through all of these steps in exact and specific detail. It covers everything you need to know to give a woman intense multiple orgasms almost every time you have sex. The name of this guide is the Female Pleasure Guru. The Female Pleasure Guru is a downloadable guide, and inside it I reveal all the secrets behind what took me from being a total failure in bed, a guy who was incredibly self-conscious and anxious, consistently failed to perform and was ultimately cheated on, to being able to give women intense multiple orgasms, destroy my sexual fears and anxieties, transform my sexual confidence, and ultimately attract and keep the woman of my dreams. This guide includes the most highly effective and fast-acting strategies and techniques I've ever developed and come across. And what you'll learn inside is so powerful and advanced that you'll be able to give any woman the most breathtaking orgasm she's ever experienced. You'll get to turn around a relationship whose passion is dead or where the woman seems completely disinterested in sex. It'll be possible to give a woman her very first orgasm no matter how sure she is that she can't experience one or never has done before. Your sexual confidence will become turbocharged to the point where all your fears and anxieties disappear and you experience a previously unimaginable state of confidence around women, making you irresistible to the opposite sex. You'll be positioned in the eyes of your lover as the only one who could ever fulfill all her sexual needs, permanently ending her desire for other men or to end the relationship. But before I tell you exactly what's inside the Female Pleasure Guru, let me quickly share a small sample of what others experienced with the Female Pleasure Guru. The Female Pleasure Guru was very informative. I was able to give my girlfriend her very first multiple orgasm, and I could definitely tell that she was not faking that one. She kept telling me to stop, she couldn't take any more, but I guess I was a little too into it and kept going for a minute or so, and she came again. I don't think she's quit shaking yet. Someone else wrote to tell me, "Jack, the Female Pleasure Guru has changed my life. It has made me look at life at a whole different angle. This has helped me a lot to understand more about the female sex and the mistakes I used to make. If any man who really wants to please his woman and feel good about himself, he will get this book." Someone else wrote to tell me, "Thanks for your product. This is just what I need to improve my sex life. This is the best ever. And Jack, thank you very much, and the Female Pleasure Guru can help a lot that have problems with their sex life. By the way, now I have confidence and am ready to rock girls' worlds." Another comment I've received is, "I want to say your guides were very helpful and I thank you for that. I've gotten a lot better at sex and foreplay. Your stuff has helped me a lot still. My sex life has improved and accelerated drastically and I get more oral returned to me." And finally, another message I received was, "It is an outstanding course that only after 2 weeks made my girlfriend want more sex. I love the subtle changes that I've been able to make to what I do to her that I've learned from the Female Pleasure Guru, and I can tell she is very grateful for it. I was a bit skeptical at first, but then I thought that what is the price on a sex life that can make your relationship wonderful? It has brought the both of us much closer together." So, what exactly does the Female Pleasure Guru involve? Well, overall, you're going to be getting all the great things I've already discussed, including the specific techniques and strategies necessary to give any woman intense multiple orgasms and exceptional satisfaction in bed. Now, to get more specific, here are some of the actual concepts you're going to learn inside. You're going to learn the 9 different types of orgasm a woman can experience and the precise triggers to make each one of them happen with ease. Each of these orgasms are exceptionally pleasurable to women and range from the simple orgasms like the clitoral orgasm to the lesser known like the anal orgasm to the more advanced orgasms like the perpetual orgasm, which lasts up to 20 minutes and will often leave her struggling to walk straight afterwards. Any guy can learn to trigger any of these orgasms, and I provide such detailed instructions so that even someone who considers themselves a novice or less than average in size down there can be using these techniques within hours of learning them. Inside you'll also discover my step-by-step instructions of how to get a woman to orgasm if she has trouble orgasming or has never orgasmed before in her life. Most men and women give up after struggling with this for a while, but I'll show you exactly how to overcome this challenge. You're also going to learn the specific indicators that a woman gives off when she's faking an orgasm so you don't fall for it like almost every other guy does. Now remember earlier I mentioned the one study that showed that as much as 89% of women fake their orgasms most of, if not every time they have sex. Plus, I'm going to show you exactly how to handle this situation so you don't make things worse, and how to maximize your chance of giving her an orgasm the next time you have sex. Inside, you're also going to discover the secrets of sexual persuasion, meaning how to get her to experiment more in bed and love the process. This will give you the power to have even the shyest of women try things that would make her mother gasp. From oral sex to anal sex to threesomes, don't attempt to try to convince your lover of any of these things until you know this. Now, as an important side note, what I'm going to be sharing here is the art of getting her to want to do it and not forcing her against her will. It should only be used with 100% ethical intentions and purely as a way to enhance her enjoyment of sex. Inside, you're also going to discover the 5 advanced level orgasms that few men and women are even aware of, and the blueprint of how to make each one of these happen. Included in this section, you'll find instructions on how to cause squirting orgasms that'll literally soak your bed in cum. And be prepared to change your sheets and even air out your mattress after using this. What you're also going to get inside is how to shorten her orgasm time by using a concept I call sexual teasing, which if done correctly can cause her to literally quiver in anticipation for sex so badly that sometimes she'll even orgasm within seconds of when you enter her. This, by the way, is an incredible approach to use if you currently don't last very long in bed and want to make sure that she orgasms before you do. You're also going to get what to do to unlock your passion, dominance and confidence in the bedroom, even if you've always been shy and have never felt very confident in bed or around women. I share exactly how to make this shift and how to do it in a way that is authentic, looks natural and doesn't come across weird. This is a very important part of the guide because some women find this an incredible turn on and it will get getting her to orgasm so much easier. Plus, if you're single, it will dramatically boost your attractiveness to women as well. Inside, I'm also going to share 5 highly potent emotional stimulators. Like we discussed, emotional stimulation is a crucial element of giving her intense sexual pleasure, and I share my 5 personal secrets for pushing a woman's deepest emotional hot buttons so she'll orgasm with extreme intensity and be much more satisfied by sex as well. Inside, you're also going to discover how to cause explosive G-spot orgasms, including 4 sex positions that automatically stimulate the G-spot. Like we've already discussed, the G-spot is an incredibly powerful pleasure point in a woman, and what you'll learn here will get her to love having sex with you. Another great thing you're going to get inside is the only 3 oral sex techniques you need to know for giving a woman toe-curling orgasms, and she'll no doubt want to become your personal sex slave after experiencing such breathtaking pleasure. I'm also going to share the simple and immediate appearance changes to make that could otherwise right now be stopping you from attracting a woman and getting her to want sex. Any guy who wants a woman to beg him for sex must use this information. I'm also going to give you a look behind closed doors into what women really think when it comes to things like sex, penis size, premature ejaculation and staying hard. And if you're like most men, this will shock and amaze you. You're also going to discover how to become a master of foreplay, including a detailed roadmap of the female pleasure zones and exactly which parts to touch and when for maximum arousal. And I'm going to share the secret behind long-term sexual passion. What to do to keep her interested in you in the long term to avoid her cheating or wanting to leave. Plus how to revive the passion and her desire for sex if it's already fading or completely disappeared. And of course, you're going to get much, much more. Now within minutes, you can be learning everything I've just talked about. As soon as tonight, you could be using all these techniques, strategies and approaches to give the woman you're with orgasms so intense she'll likely become sexually addicted to. This is because the Female Pleasure Guru is a downloadable guide, which means no waiting around for something to be shipped to you. Full instructions of how to view the guide are on the download page, and you can always print it off and read a hard copy if you like. Either way, within minutes you can access the Female Pleasure Guru. And if you order while this video is still up, I'll give you a total of 4 special bonuses, together worth a total of $116, completely for free. The first free bonus I'm going to give you is called the long-lasting sex formula. Now, there are few things in the world more embarrassing than premature ejaculation, and although it is possible to satisfy women without lasting long, being able to last for as long as you want opens up a whole new world of pleasure for both you and her. And in this bonus guide worth $39, I'll show you my proven 6-step formula of techniques and changes to make before and during sex that can help any man last significantly longer in bed. The second free bonus you're going to get is called Stop Sexual Rejection. And if you've ever been really attracted to a woman, or just really in the mood for sex, when you go to make the move, she slaps you with the cold, hard shoulder, then you know the pain of sexual rejection. By tapping into the female psychology and some little-known persuasion techniques, this bonus guide worth $29 will show you a totally unique approach to initiating sex so you'd never get rejected again. The third free bonus you're going to get is called the Female Orgasm Fast Track, and this guide contains 7 emergency strategies and techniques which you can use the very next time you have sex to give your woman breathtakingly intense orgasms. The whole point of this bonus guide worth $29 is to dramatically accelerate your progress and get you seeing improvements in your lovemaking skills so fast and dramatic that your woman will feel like she's having sex with a whole new person. And finally, the fourth bonus you're going to get is multiple orgasms for men. Now, if you thought the multiple orgasms were just for women, then it's time to think again. Because in a few simple steps, any man can train himself to experience multiple orgasms. And in this bonus guide, worth $19, I'll show you the exact steps needed to train yourself to experience multiple orgasms during sex, so you can orgasm multiple times without losing your erection. Now, not only does this mean more pleasure for you, but it also means you can last a whole lot longer in bed as well. Altogether, you'll get a step-by-step roadmap and proven system to give any woman intense multiple orgasms, getting her to love having sex with you and forget all about other men. And in case you haven't realized this, these changes are permanent. These aren't some fancy tricks a woman will only enjoy once. What you're going to learn inside the Female Pleasure Guru, you'll be using for the rest of your life. So, how much is a lifetime of incredible sex, confidence, passion, certainty in your ability to attract and keep a beautiful woman, and the ability to rock her world every night in bed worth to you? Well, as someone considered an expert in the sex advice field, I could go crazy and charge ridiculous amounts for this information. You may even have heard of some sex therapists who charge into thousands of dollars for coaching in this area, but probably don't even know half of what I teach inside the Female Pleasure Guru. Well, fortunately, I'm not going to charge you into thousands of dollars for access to the Female Pleasure Guru. But the lifetime skills you're going to learn inside, and all the time, research and testing I've put into creating this guide, does place its value at least $99. And if you look at the program altogether, you'll see that the Female Pleasure Guru is worth $99, the Long-Lasting Sex Formula is worth $39, Stop Sexual Rejection is worth $29, Female Orgasm Fast Track is also worth $29, Multiple Orgasms for Men is worth $19, so altogether that's a total value of $215. But I'm not going to charge you $215. And I'm not going to charge you $150. In fact, I'm not even going to charge you $100. If you invest in the Female Pleasure Guru today, while this video is still up, you can get instant access to the entire program, including the 4 bonuses, altogether worth $215, all for only $49. That's less than the price of a couple of DVDs. And instead of spending time watching some DVDs, you'll be having the sex of your life because your lover will want it non-stop. And on top of that, unlike some DVDs you'll probably only watch once or twice, you'll have the benefits from the Female Pleasure Guru for a lifetime. So, you've got to ask yourself, is a lifetime of incredible sex worth more to me than a couple of DVDs? If it is, then the Female Pleasure Guru is right for you. So to summarize, when you order today, you'll get the Female Pleasure Guru, the Long-Lasting Sex Formula, Stop Sexual Rejection, female orgasm fast track, multiple orgasms for men, all for only $49. And your order will be completed with 100% security and privacy. The payment processing company called ClickBank uses digitally encrypted servers and is McAfee secure tested daily to prevent identity theft, viruses, spyware and other online threats. Also, your payment will appear discreetly on your bill under the word ClickBank, so no one has to know about your order if you don't want them to. On top of that, your $49 is invested completely risk-free. Your investment is backed by my 100% money back, no questions asked guarantee. So what this means is if at any point within the first 8 weeks or 60 days of investing in the Female Pleasure Guru you're not completely satisfied, just send me an email asking for a refund and you'll get all your money back, and I'll even let you keep the Female Pleasure Guru and the 4 bonuses just for inconveniencing you. So click the big yellow button below to get instant access to the Female Pleasure Guru now. Remember, this is a one-time investment of only $49, less than the price of a couple of DVDs. And in return, you'll discover how to give any woman intense, multiple orgasms, get her to beg for more sex from you, last longer in bed, experience multiple male orgasms, and completely stop sexual rejection. And all completely risk-free. Now, the only way I can make you an offer like that and be willing to give all your money back if you don't like it is because I know that what I teach is going to work for you. You're now less than a minute away from downloading and discovering all these sex secrets that have the power to transform your sex life starting today. And after discovering the simple strategies of what it really takes to satisfy women, my bet is that your life will never be the same. Forget worrying about where am I going to find a good girlfriend or wife, is she satisfied, will she cheat on me, or trying to persuade her to have sex with you, because when you have this level of sexual skill, all of that is forgotten. Instead, you can just enjoy being with a woman who loves having sex with you and wouldn't want to be with anyone else. And you can have all of this completely risk-free. So take advantage of this zero-risk offer and become an unforgettable lover who can give a woman multiple explosive orgasms starting tonight. Just click the button below this video and get instant access to the Female Pleasure Guru and every secret, tip, technique to incredible sex for the rest of your life. All for the one-time investment of only $49. So go ahead, click the big yellow button below to get instant access to the Female Pleasure Guru now. And I'll see you on the other side.